First of all, thank you for having me here. A big thanks to Veda and the arrangers. I mean, arranging this despite all the obstacles that come in between. And kudos to that. A big round of applause for the Veda and the arrangers, because that is what matters. We are here after all with a fabulous setup. So, and thank you Shambhavita for giving such a good podium to start my word, as my topic is related to women. And what better than this March month to talk about women? I don't know how many of you know, I do write a bit. I'm not a writer. I don't call myself a writer or an author, but I do write a bit because I feel I can express myself with written words more than spoken words. But today, Veda has given me a chance to speak about it also. So, there is one topic I wanted to discuss with you all. As I am within my sisterhood, I thought that I can share one of my inner monologue with you all. So, whenever we are talking about women, we talk about rights, policies, discrimination, a lot of very heavy words. But there are certain things which I think are lurking behind very silently, not as heavy words like a rule. Because not all discrimination comes in the form of a harsh rule. Sometimes it might come as a very silent question, very polite question, not even rude. Let me share one of my experience. So, I was actually resigning from my earlier position. I went to discuss with my manager. The usual talk, why are you leaving, and what offer you have, what kind of shift you have done to keep you, the usual discussion. And then, he posed the last question, which kept with me much after the conversation ended. Have you discussed this with your husband? Is he okay with the move? It wasn't a harsh question. It wasn't a rude also. Rather, it was very caring. But I paused. I thought, will any man be ever ask this question? Have you discussed your career ambition with your better half? I don't think so. Because this is an assumption that a career for a woman is a family referendum. For a man it's only an ambition. So it's a whole lot of people who have a stake in it. And these small observations are the ones which have actually made me a writer. Because not every day Veda gives me a podium to talk about it. So I make these observations, and because once you start doing these observations, you can never unsee that. And I try to tend to write about them more. Let me share another example. So we were discussing about backups, the manpower. The words itself are very tricky sometimes. The manpower planning we were all having, and I suggested there was one girl in our team, junior girl, just got married that year, that we should have a backup for her. And because when she got married, she took a 3 weeks leave and we had certain problems. But her immediate boss, a male boss, told, don't worry, we will always have a 6 to 7 months worry before she goes on a maternity leave. And I was like, that's not why I asked. She might get another job also. And he was like, she is 30, in her hometown with her husband. She must be planning family now. Talk about corporate aunties. So sometimes your bosses are planning your family much before you are planning it. So, and these are the assumptions. These are what I call invisible permission slip that we are tackling every day. We always talk about the glass ceilings, but what my observation of 15 years in corporate and 37 years as a woman is this small assumptions that make and break our career and our life choices much more than what the rules and the policies do. Because sometimes, I have been in many promotion discussions, and I know most of the women's promotions are discussed during a fab hour where all the male bosses have gathered, and they have decided that this girl have just returned from a maternity leave. So, though she is doing her job well, let us not give her the promotion, because she might, nobody asked her, but she might need more time at home. She might need. So, this is one thing that I really wanted to discuss with you all. The male assumption and the male positions that have for ages defined what a woman should do and not do much before she gets the chance to make a choice. I mean, this seeps into a family life very easily. Like, for example, you are planning something very excitedly with your mother, and this plan does not involve your husband, perhaps. And then suddenly she basically add, ওর সাথে কথা বলে গেছিস তো, ওর কোনো অসুবিধা নেই তো। He is not even involved in that. But as invisible permission, everything should be the real blessing kind of a thing. And maybe we cannot change it in a day. Maybe a better generation the one which we are bringing up can change a lot. But for the time being, what I think and I believe that instead of fighting for the rules, fighting for the policies, let us make a very basic change. Let us start asking the women what they want before making the assumption on their behalf. And this very observation and this very thing which have helped me to write, I believe will make you will also ponder about it once we are discussing it, and maybe someday we will get a better answer. Thank you.